Hello guys, I'm IDQ, and in this video we'll go over
Dyer's turn
the
to
draft
pick.
from the Singapore Major, the finals.
If you like this type of content, go to gamersclass.com. For just $9.99 a month, watch masterclasses with pro players, join exclusive live sessions, and get 24/7 access to coaches and other high MMR players. Get full control of your ranked games and start owning with our Supreme Dota 2 membership.
So on the first game, EG had the first pick, IG had the first pick, so they picked Phoenix. The first bans don't really matter that much. It's just banning the meta heroes, which in this case is Tuskar and Alchemist, which are very strong right now. Also IO as a core mid or safe lane is super strong, and then Mirana is also really good. IG first picked Phoenix. I believe this is just the comfort pick, as we saw they picked like 3 or 4 times at least. So yeah, that's what they were going for. This hero, it's basically a lot of magical damage and counter initiation in some cases, and also team fight, obviously. EG picked Mirana.
10 seconds remain.
This hero is okay,
seconds.
not especially good against Phoenix or anything,
Dyer's
but I believe it just because...
pick.
Actually, it's okay against Phoenix because of the leap attack speed. But I believe that the reason why they picked it is because they will pick a Beastmaster.
10
and
seconds.
they don't want to get countered by Mirana, right? She can
Beastmaster!
Beastmaster force with just one shot with arrow. Before this, IG obviously picked Mars. It's a hero that works very, very well with Phoenix, since Mars offers a lot of teamfight and heroes that are in the arena cannot really hit Phoenix. And also Phoenix can just obviously egg outside of the arena or press the E Sun Ray on the target that's stunned by Mars Spear in the arena, and they like die almost all the time. This is both of these heroes are really strong laners also, so this is what they were going for. I believe they were already thinking about picking a hard carry such as Naga, like they did before. They did
10
in this game.
seconds. 5 seconds remain.
In this case, Beastmaster offers a lot of push, right? Since of the attack speed and Boars. Also Roche is pretty good for them. Again, attack speed for the Roche. It's a pretty strong laner, but I believe what they were going for is Aurora into Arrow, since they don't really have much disable, right? Not reliable disable between these two heroes. Arrow is like 50-50 chance, let's say, and also, yeah, they needed one stun, basically. This hero is also really good against Phoenix because of the attack speed, so yeah, you can hit the egg a lot faster. And then the bans, Juggernaut obviously,
10 seconds
because
remain.
it combines really well with Beastmaster. You can push with
5
Juggernaut, have a lot of more
Radiant's
effective team fight
turn
because
to
of the
ban.
healing ward and group up, Also Roche, push, again Beastmaster. And it's also really good against Phoenix.
10
since
seconds.
you can spin and hit egg, and also
5
like I said before,
seconds.
the ward is just super effective against their types of heroes. They ban Troll because Troll is a really strong laner against Beastmaster with the Wild Axes. Not Wild Axes, I'm sorry. He's W, Whirling Axes. So yeah, he doesn't really care about the boars that Beastmaster spawns. So because of that, they ban it.
Dyer's turn to ban.
They ban Oracle. Oracle counters both of their heroes on IG, I mean, because they're both magical damage, right? And just the W from Oracle counters both of them. So it's really good against these heroes.
10 seconds remain.
And also
5 seconds.
with their group up potential.
It is Radiant's
PL,
ban.
because both of these heroes are like single target, right? Beastmaster doesn't really have anything. Boars single target, is ulti single target.
10 seconds
So yeah, that's
remain.
why they wanna ban
5 seconds
in this
remain.
case. Also can dodge Mirana, Starfall, and stuff like that.
It is Dyer's ban.
Tidehunter would be actually really good for them. the thing about Tidehunter is it's a really good counter initiator because they can't really go on Tide, right? Since he has Kraken Shell. So even if he gets speared or arena'd or anything, he can just ravage. And while they ravage, they can obviously kill the egg and stuff. And also, yeah,
10
egg dispels everything
seconds.
lane from Phoenix.
5 seconds remain. Dire must choose.
Depend. Timbersaw. They could place Timbersaw mid or even Mars 4 and Phoenix 5. I believe that's what they thought about. And it's also a really annoying hero since none of their current heroes offer any
10
magical
seconds.
damage. I mean,
5
sustainable
seconds.
magical damage that can like kill Timbersaw. So it
Radiant.
Abaddon's again the same idea as Oracle, can dispel the spear, can dispel the W and Q from Phoenix, and also this is like kinda underrated about Abaddon. He's really good at pushing since he can hit 4 times with a passive and everyone gets attack speed, and also Roche. So yeah, this is really good.
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds.
And exactly like Tidehunter, you can't really stun
Dire
Abaddon.
Disruptor.
You can just ult out of any disable. So because of that, they respond with Disruptor, right? Since Abaddon cannot ult, like click his ult while it's silenced. Only if he drops below the HP threshold, which is like 300, I believe.
Radiant.
Storm Spirit!
This. And then they go for Storm Spirit, signature hero on Abed, and also it's really good.
10
against
seconds
since
remain.
you
5
can just jump on
seconds
him before he
remain.
gets his eggs off. So
Radiant.
Naga Siren!
and also Mars cannot really reliably go on you because, I mean, without Yule Scepter, since he can Yule you and then spear, since you can just jump around. Even with Disruptor, unless you're out of mana, he can't really ult you or anything. So that's why they went, I mean, one of the reasons that they went for Naga is to set up their whole team fight. And also they can just sing and then, I mean, egg and then sing when the egg is low HP. So they can't really hit it without BKBs or something like that. And, you know, he can just stop the Song of the Siren when egg is about to explode and everyone gets stunned. So it's really nice setup. Also, they don't really have any magic AoE. Like I said before, that's why they banned PL. They don't really have anything. Abaddon doesn't offer anything. Same as Beastmaster.
10
That's why
seconds.
he was going for that
5 seconds.
because they needed more magical AoE damage. It reduces the cooldown
It
of
is
wild axes
Dire's
to
ban.
0 seconds. You basically just have to wait until they return back to you and then you
10
can throw them again.
seconds. 5 seconds remain. It
Ban
is
rating,
Radiant's ban.
Because they could group up, like I said before, and it would be pretty hard for them to stop it. The ban Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain owns like their whole lineup because they don't really have disables. Just Roar, like I said, and like Storm when he has Orchid. But since Storm loses to Queen of Pain in lane very easily, it will be late. So their whole tempo is
10 seconds remain. 5
they
seconds
would have
remain.
Queen of Pain in the enemy.
Dire's turn to
Ban
ban.
Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage is really good here. Like Anti-Mage is really good against Naga first of all in the carry matchup because you can't really net him since he has counter spell. He also can he farms faster than Naga, which is really hard to do, but you know, pretty good for them. And because he farms faster than Naga, Anti-Mage usually gets stronger than Naga Siren. And also he has like he's always going for Battle Fury, so that's also pretty good. Besides that, Phoenix has no disables. Like I said before, Mars again is pretty hard for them to kill him mid to early game. If they group up with like 3-4 heroes and run around killing them, it's gonna be difficult to stop an aim from far.
10 seconds.
Later in
5
the game he can carry.
seconds.
Here, EG is gonna ban. Let's see, I don't remember exactly.
Radiant's turn
That
to
Prophet.
pick.
Yeah, that Prophet is a hero that they can't really kill reliably because, you know, even if you roar her, I guess she could, if she had Spirit Siphons out, Like, you're not killing her. No way. And it also offers them tower push,
10
which you don't have
seconds remain.
on IG. So yeah, this hero offers them tower push. They can apply pressure on the map, which they don't really have right now.
Five.
It has a beast morphling. They can hit towers and, you know, obviously buff their team. They go ahead and pick a morphing. And I was thinking about what heroes they were countering with morphing, which would be Gyrocopter and Monkey King for EG, the North American team. Because Gyrocopter in this case for them would give, it's really good against enemy heroes basically, since you're always buying a BKB and most likely buying a Maelstrom, so you're pretty good against Naga Siren because of that. You also have a lot of magical damage, but the most important part is you can still team fight while slapped by a Naga Siren, right? Since you're buying an axe, you're already heating, even though you're slapped by Naga. And also with the Flak Cannon with Phoenix, you can still damage the opponent team, even though you're hitting the egg. So they pick Morphling because Morphling is super good against Gyro, since you can just ult him and then press Flak Cannon and turn your back into Morphling, and you have a lot of damage, like 200-300 per hit, and you're hitting everyone in the enemy team. Another pick would be good for EG, Monkey King. That's what I was thinking about, because it's sort of the same idea. You win your lane very easily against Mars, since it's a melee hero, melee matchup. And like Phoenix or Disruptor don't really matter, since Shield from Abaddon is really good in this case. So, and then you can just, it's like almost exactly the same as Gyrocopter. You can take Roche with Beastmaster very easily, especially if an eggs. And the eggs also is eating while you're sleeping and while you're hitting the egg in this case. And let's not even mention his ultimate, which it's, yeah, the same. Hitting while slapped, hitting while hitting the egg. While with your main hero, I mean. So yeah, also offers them a lot of team fight. And Morphling's pretty good against Monkey King, since like he's fully magical damage, right? I mean fully physical damage. So Morphling, since he has like 45 armor, doesn't really care about the Monkey King. So that's what they were countering with this Morphling. Even though the draft is kind of greedy, it would have been okay if they had Gyro Monkey King
10
here, right?
seconds. 5
But since they picked
seconds.
Leshrac, I believe, the whole game got destroyed, since
Select your
Leshrac
hero.
has a lot of magical damage.
Make the
but
ultimate
Morphling
choice.
is super good against Naga, obviously, since you have a lot of magical damage and she can't really do anything about the illusions taking magical damage. And doesn't really care about being stuck in arena or slapped, or, you know, even like hitting Phoenix Egg. Even Disruptor Silence, if you get your spells off, right, you still do the damage, since they're not getting cancelled, your ult or W, Diabolic Edict. So this hero is super good. Also, it gives them push with Diabolic Edict, also Roche, exactly the same way, and team fight. So they're able to just push the pace in the on the enemies and win the game because of the draft, I believe, in this game. Okay, this is the second game. For the record, I believe the first game,
10
the draft
seconds
was won
remain.
by
5 seconds remain. It is Dire's ban.
Magic.
It is Radiant's
This game,
ban.
they banned Troll, just like before. I mean, just like before the first ban just reflect on the meta and what opponents
10
play
seconds
well. The meta
remain.
Troll is really good.
5
Meta, so
seconds.
that's why they ban it.
It
Exactly
is
as we talked.
Dire's ban.
Timber
Radiant's
Soul, same
Earth
height,
Spirit.
and then they picked Earth Spirit, which is a roaming hero.
10
Gives a
seconds.
pretty good map
5
control, especially early
seconds
game
remain.
control. He can stop like an enemy mid laner for getting the rune by rolling
Radiant's
in.
turn.
Also have the
Lion.
enemy mid laner. I mean your ally mid
Dire's
laner.
turn.
Storm Spirit.
Lion, it's, you know, decent comfort pick. They picked it like 3 times, I believe, in the finals. Storm Spirit from
10
EG.
seconds remain.
Yeah,
5
again, comfort hero.
seconds
I believe they
remain.
actually picked it 5
Radiant's
times in the
turn.
finals.
Alchemist.
So, yeah, they just had a lot of trust. But it's also really good combined with the Earth Spirit. Since they're both gankers, both spirits, yeah, they can control a lot of the map and give themselves space. So that's why I believe this Alchemist pick right here wasn't that great.
10 seconds.
Unless he was going to be a
5
position 1, which I believe they were
seconds.
thinking about.
Dyer's
To
turn
put this
to ban.
Alchemist as a position 1, since he would get a lot of farm, right? So let's say he would get a 14 minutes Battle Fury SNY. These two heroes wouldn't be able to kill him. So yeah, that's why. Queen of Pain, they banned it again, like the
10
previous game, so Storm
seconds
doesn't get only mid the lane.
5 seconds
Because
remain.
his whole game is like messed up if he loses the lane very horribly. Or the enemy opponent has a lot of silences, which, you know, if Queen of Pain would be winning the lane, as you know, she
It is
should
Radiant's
be
ban.
able to get an Orchid before Storm, so yeah, that's why. They banned Mars this time. It's just
10
offering them more
seconds.
team fight and catch. And also strong
5
laner.
seconds.
I believe this is also because Mars, in theory, should be able to stay solo versus Lion +1. So our Spirit can gank. So that's why they banned it. Let's see.
It is Dyer's ban.
Gyrocopter. Yeah, since they banned this gyro
10
because of
seconds.
the Alchemist. Since Alchemist is either 1, most likely, or I mean 1 or 3, right? If it's offlane, they want to ban heroes that benefit from an early eggs. So gyro is one of them, obviously.
5 seconds.
If gyro gets like a 13,
Radiant's
14
turn
minutes
to
eggs
ban.
from Alchemist, they can just
10
do
seconds
team fights.
remain. 5
Since he's gonna be too
seconds
tanky even
remain.
for the storm speed plus her speed. If he has
Dyer's
a little bit of
turn to
health.
ban.
Again, they ban Monkey King since they don't want Alchemist to give him an X. And they ban Terrorblade because it offers them free lane. Since Alchemist is not a... I mean, it's a pretty strong laner, obviously, because of the acid, you know, have a lot of damage per second. But the minus armor is really effective, since 2 heroes would be able to hit someone with minus armor. Terrorblade has a lot of armor early game, so he wouldn't really suffer against Alchemist. And he can also put a lot of pressure on their buildings, since they don't really defend their towers very well with Alchemist and Lion. They can also invade the jungle with meta, right? Whenever meta is up, they can just run at them.
10 seconds
Anybody
remain.
that like
5
can outcarry
seconds remain.
zombies
Dyer's turn.
against minus armor. They picked Abaddon since he can dispel a lot of stuff from these 2 heroes, obviously. And
10 seconds. 5
yeah, I believe
seconds.
it's gonna be a Beastmaster here. Oh, also they banned Dead Prophet. These 2 heroes just apply a lot of pressure. They can take Roche, TP can take Roche, Dead Prophet can take Roche with Exorcism and Towers. So that's why. Also pretty strong heroes in a team fight. They're gonna pick Beastmaster here, which you might think is bad against Abaddon, since the shield can dispel his ult, but they have a lot of silences, right? This is one of the reasons why they picked it. Because Earth Spirit has a silence, Storm Spirit by a silence, and they have a lot of disables, so they can stop the Abaddon from dispelling. And the other thing is that this Beastmaster is securing...
Dyer.
He's gonna have a secure lane, right? Since Lion doesn't really do anything to him, since he can just micro his boars on the one side of the lane, and he's gonna sit on the other side of the lane. So whenever Lion is trying to harass him, he's just gonna get hit by the boars. And obviously that won't be good for them. If Abaddon is position 5, like, it's exactly the same thing. He's a melee hero, he's not gonna be able to play with 2
Void incarnate.
They pick Void Spirit because they need a bit of tempo control, right? In a mid-game
10
hero
seconds
to run
remain.
around with
5
Lion,
seconds
since these
remain.
heroes kind of passive. I mean, they're passive heroes. And also because Alchemist can give him an X, which is what ended up happening. So he
Radiant.
will have an X, so he tries to control them, right, with silence. Since these 2 heroes get like hard countered by silences. AA is a pretty good pick here, obviously, because it counters 2 heroes.
10
Alchemist ulti,
seconds.
it's healing, this guy's healing
5
everyone
seconds.
and himself. So
It is
yeah.
Dyer's ban.
And he's a pretty weak laner though, so they might just
10
end up
seconds
pairing him
remain.
with a
5
strong carry,
seconds
which is
remain.
what they will end up doing. Tidehunter is getting banned by the North American team because they were thinking now that Alchemist is a position 1 hero, like I said, right? Since they banned this hero, it's a flex pick, right? They can just pick it for a position and send it to another one. Sort of like, I mean, Alchemist is actually the best but Monkey King would be another one, since Monkey can play both mid and safe lane.
It
So
is
now they were
Radiant's
trying
ban.
to counter this Alchemist as a position 1. Since if Alchemist would be position 1, the Tide would be offlane, right? In this last position would be the offlane needed, so yeah. Tide Hunter is really good for them, since just like the previous game, if none of their heroes can like initiate on Tide or even be around Tide, since he's just gonna counter initiate with the Ravage. So if Earth Spirit jumps in or Storm Spirit jumps in, they're just gonna get met with a Ravage. So until they have like big ABs, they can't really do anything. That's why they were thinking with this ban. If in
10
case Alchemist is in
Dire's
position 1,
turn to
since
ban.
he has pretty easy lane against Beastmaster, since you know units don't really do well against him. The ban Lycan then. Oh yeah, Lycan would be a flex pick. She can play all 3 roles. It's what I was talking before. The ban Juggernaut, since just like last game, they kind of need Roche, right? In this lineup that they have. None of the heroes like hit Roche or towers, besides Beastmaster. So Juggernaut would be one of them. And also since
10
they don't really have any
seconds,
nukes, right?
5
Just
seconds.
Lion ult. I wouldn't necessarily provide any offensive spells, same as Alchemist, just a stun, but you know, not that much. So Healing Word would be extremely good for them to pressure the map and stuff like that. Lycan would be good for them obviously because none of them have AoE, and also it's really good with
Radiant must
their
choose.
team composition, since they also kind of need a
10 seconds remain.
tower
5
pusher or
seconds.
Roche taker.
Dire.
He had a big
Bloodseeker.
Bloodseeker, because it's really good against Void Spirit, right? You just rapture him anytime you see him, and he's not gonna be able to utilize his spell to move around the team fight, since you know it's gonna take a lot of damage if you press his ult and stuff. Also, Bloodseeker is pretty good against pretty good with Ancient Apparition, like I was saying before, since he's a super weak laner. Bloodseeker is a super strong laner, so they're like equaling out. They're not like instantly losing the lane because of the hero that's pretty weak. But Bloodseeker is actually a decent matchup against Alchemist if they're like, if Alchemist isn't too far ahead, because Bloodseeker can buy a shard, and I believe it lifesteals like 2% of the enemy HP. So Alchemist is also always gonna have like 3000 HP. 2% of that is 60 HP, I believe. So that's a lot of HP to lifesteal every single second. I mean every single hit, which is a lot since you have a Beastmaster. So you might end up healing like 200 per second just because of the Alchemist. And then by PA, I mean it
10
depends PA before,
seconds remain.
since they can't really contest PA like I said before. Abaddon doesn't really provide any offense, same as Alchemist. And PA is actually pretty good for them also because of the Roche, right? She can just buy Desolator and go Roche with Beastmaster. And also just instantly kill Lion. So yeah, that's why they...
5 seconds
And she's
remain.
also gonna have the space because of these 2 gankers. Not only because of their draft being too defensive. In this case, they were getting outdrafted again, so they picked the Void. It's not that great.
Faceless
What they're thinking
Void.
is that they can go towards the late game, right? Since if they get the late game, they might win with this Void. But they just end up losing like 25-30 minutes. That's like their only hope to go late game, since Alchemist is gonna give him an axe and it's gonna be really strong. But he needs a lot of items for that, like Manta, Lincoln, BKB, Maelstrom, something like that. Super defensive. Since so what I was saying is that's not a good hero, is because this guy has a silence and it's really good against Void. Void usually loses the lane against Beastmaster since he has no AoE, and like the damage from Beastmaster is constant. So there is no healing with time lapse, or not time lapse, that's Weaver spell, with his Q, right? Time walk. AA also stops him from healing. It's pretty good against him. You rarely catch a storm. He usually initiates on you because he will have vision, the storm, right, from Beastmaster with the hawk and stuff like that. So they will always initiate on them. So this Void pick was just hope for the late game. Also, it gets countered by Bloodseeker, because exactly the same as Void Spirit. If you get ruptured, like you're kind of dead. You need to just sit in place and right click, which is not good against their team, since you know you can't heal because the rupture. So yeah, I believe that this draft was won again by
Choose your hero.
EG in the second game, but they end up making a comeback.
Man.
Okay, this is game number 3. So in my opinion, even this
10
game,
seconds remain.
the
5
drafting was won by
seconds.
EG. They just threw the game. As you saw, they were like
10
40,000
seconds.
ahead
5 seconds
and
remain.
just made a bad play.
Radiant's turn
yeah.
to ban. 10 seconds remain to pick.
What they adapted a bit on
10 seconds. 5 seconds. Radiant.
is that they didn't just pick heroes with big cooldown.
10
that
seconds.
really
5
require,
seconds remain.
Their ultimates to play around. I mean, even in this game,
Storm
they
Spirit!
did, but better than last game. Storm Spirit
Radiant.
was confident, kind of cocky at this point. They picked
10
it for
seconds.
the
5. It is
advantage.
Radiant's remain.
But in this game, Phoenix again, Comfort pick, same story. The bans were similar, just meta heroes. And they adapted by banning Beastmaster, which they lost twice to already. So yeah, that's good. But then they countered the Storm Spirit with Nyx.
Dyer's turn to
Knows why
ban.
this matchup is bad for the Storm. Banning Juggernaut, same ideas, just magical damage. Can healing words,
10
speed, and
seconds. 5 seconds.
the ban Troll. Meta hero, I guess.
It is Radiant's
So.
ban. 10
The ban
seconds
Keeper,
remain.
so because they can't really nuke him, right? Since in the laning stage,
5 seconds remain.
Phoenix only has
Dyer's
damage, but in
ban.
like little bursts, right? Every single spirit and stuff like that. So he doesn't really get annoyed by that. Same as
10
Nyx
seconds.
doesn't really care about it. So if
5
they manage to win the
seconds.
lanes again, they just run with it.
Radiant's
Team is also
turn to
very strong
ban.
laner, so that's why they ban it. They're banning Monkey King. It combines very well with Phoenix.
10 seconds remain.
Phoenix just ults and then you ult on top of him, so nobody can just run in and hit it. And also it's really good with Nyx, since Nyx can scout, or you can scout with Monkey King from the trees, and then, you know, just get on top of someone.
5 seconds remain.
Tide is that counter initiation that they would want against these heroes, since nobody can
Radiant's
initiate
turn to pick.
to get the ravage off. They ban PL because these heroes are like single target.
10
and,
seconds.
yeah,
5
exactly the same ideas
seconds.
as before. There's just 3 heroes were present already in the previous series. Nyx is a new hero, let's put it that way.
Dire.
Crystal Maiden.
Radiant.
Void
Big
Lycan!
Crystal Maiden. Because they will, I believe they just wanted to improve their mid to early game because of their mana. Storm is super dependent on mana, right? So having like permanent bonus mana regen is really good. Same as Spirit, you really need a lot of mana at this hero, so that's why it's really good. There's the
10 seconds remain.
yeah, early game overall. They then pick Void Spirit, same matchup as before. Void Spirit is actually really good against Storm Spirit, since you usually want to buy Yule Scepter. I mean, it depends on the game, but most of the time you do. So it's a really good defensive and offensive item. First of all, since you can Yule yourself, obviously someone's gonna buy an Orchid, so you can save yourself from that. But the second part of this is the offensive one. You can just Yule Storm Spirit and then place a Remnant on top of the Yule, and he can escape it with ult, right? So that's why it's super good. Also, it gives them more catch, since he has like Dissimulate, double ult, with Nyx Assassin they can catch people. Lycan's really good for EG though, since like you're obviously gonna buy Necro 3, so Nyx is countered by that. Phoenix, yeah, pretty good against Lycan. However, you need to hit your spells on him, and since he has like 600 something movement speed, you're not gonna really be able to do it. And also, this is what I was talking about before. They always pick like Phoenix and Mars and heroes like that require like big ults, right? And Lycan doesn't really do that. I mean, if he wins the lane, he has an Necro 3 and Wolves. He can team fight anytime, and he's really strong anytime. these heroes, I mean this hero, and if they would pick a marshal or something like that, they require Zult to function like properly. Meanwhile, Lycan doesn't really do that. So that's why they can push the pace with Lycan take Roche, push towers. So yeah.
5 seconds remain.
It's also like before, Flex Hero can be position 1 or position 3. It's gonna end up being a position 3. They pick Underworld here, which is a pretty
It
good
is
hero.
Dire's
I was
ban.
a bit surprised with this pick. It's pretty good against Lycan, since obviously you just mess up his damage with the aura, but another like sort of underrated part of him is against the Solar Spirit and Earth Spirit. You disable them both by rooting with W, right? Since it's pretty hard for them to disengage or even go in the first place if you have a W down with Underlord. And you're also gonna buy like Rod of Athos, so yeah, another root. You basically can get 3 roots on the same target, so there's like 6 seconds of disable, probably even more, because you know then your team can set up or chain stun. And another thing is that he can buy Crimson Guard for Lycan, Pipe for everyone, so it's a really good hero. Also, like I was saying before, he doesn't require his ult or anything to teamfight. His like spells are 10-15 second cooldown. And also buying auras. So yeah, this is
10
really good.
seconds remain. 5 seconds.
However, yeah, we will see. The last week from
Radiant's turn
North
to
American team
ban.
is gonna be super good.
Dire's turn to ban.
They banned Naga because
10
they played
seconds.
it before the first game in the series, so they know that they have it in their hero pool, and it's really good against their heroes. See, it counters Lycan because of the net, and like they can disengage easily with Song and just run away. Pretty good against both spirits because you can net them, so yeah, again they can run away. CM, you know, just for CM is still worth it. Since she has a lot of
5 seconds
magical
remain.
damage, but you know, she's gonna get a lot of items by free farm against these heroes, so
It is Radiant's
we don't really care
ban.
about the position 5. They end up banning the Bloodseeker, which like owned them the previous game. So yeah, it's also same idea of Void Spirit, and Phoenix can't really run away because of the Rapture. So yeah, that's why. Then they banned Venomancer, which is the same idea as before. It doesn't require like big spells, which is good, since you have Poison Sting and wards everywhere. So it's, yeah, that's why it's good. You can also push towers, Serpent wards. You can also secure Roche, a lot of vision, which is why they first banned Beastmaster. Like before, they were just getting beat by them being able to initiate with Store Spirit or Spirit on them every single time. So it's a similar hero because of the Serpent words and the Plague words, I guess they're called. And also you can secure Roche and stuff like that. Also, it's a hero that can buy Greaves and Pipe. They're just 100% magical damage right now. So if they would get someone to buy a Meg, Greaves, Pipe, stuff like that would be really good for them. So that's why they ban it.
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds. Dire's turn
ban
to
TB.
pick.
Is sort of the same
10
idea.
seconds.
Because TB can it's really good against Lycan since you have 40 armor, like it's just physical damage. CM, you don't really care about the CM. Spirit Storm Spirit, you're gonna get like an SNY or a Manta and Skadi pretty early, so you don't really care about them. And also he would be really good at pushing out the waves safely, right? Because of the illusions. They banned Illusion Hero, Illusion Hero, Illusion Hero, Naga, PL, and Terrorblade, because they don't want them to be able to push waves safely with illusions, since they want to catch them with Solar Spirit and Air Spirit. This is another
5 seconds.
also like can just scout them, so that's why they're banning Illusion Heroes that are
Radiant.
also
Sven stands ready.
Then a pick and Sven. It's decent against Lycan, and it doesn't really care about these heroes. But
10
Lycan can
seconds
still
remain.
play
5
really
seconds
easy against
remain.
Sven. Since your wolves have maim, so he loses
Razor.
attack speed and
Choose
movement
your
speed.
hero.
You're also buying an early AC on Lycan, so you know you're kind of countering Sven by giving your team armor and decreasing his team's armor, so you're negating the E. And then they end up picking Razor. Since it doesn't really matter which lane he goes to, he is owning like every melee hero here. Sven also, or I mean Sven or Underlord. So he's gonna have a full 3 lane. Storm Spirit, they already saw this matchup, is gonna have a pretty good lane. Then Ice Size on Lycan can make plays early game. And also, the thing about it is, Razor, like I said before, doesn't require big ults, right? His ult is 60-second cooldown with 30-second duration, I believe, at level 18. So you don't really need this ult. I mean, it's not about that. It's because you have W, right? So static link, static link, I believe it's called. So yeah, you can just always run this van and drain his damage or this Underlord. So yeah, that's why they were. I believe this draft was sort of it was pretty good, but then the Razor, you know, just kind of destroyed all their plans. Again, I still think that EG's draft was better, but yeah, they still won because they made a mistake and then question mark by Emo. So yeah, they gained a lot of confidence in this game, the Invictus Gaming team, because they
Dyer's turn to pick.
You know, question mark stuff. Bans were Beastmaster, which they lost twice to, and Earth Spirit, same I believe. They picked it, yeah, previous 2 games at least. And then normal bans. I believe they should have adapted also. Since they adapted to their bans, they changed them into Beastmaster and Earth Spirit. They should have probably banned something like Lion or Phoenix, something like that. But yeah.
10 seconds.
Lion.
Oh, this is a Phoenix bug. Yeah, first pick Phoenix again, but like 3rd time, and then they picked Pangolier. Pangolier is pretty good against Phoenix because you know, you can just roll into a ball and you can just run away. Also gives them a pretty good team fight, which is why they lacked a bit in the previous game, because they had the Lycan and the Lycan and wait, what was the other core? This is the other game. They had Lycan as a core, so it wasn't that great. And Razor actually, yeah, I was right. So yeah, both of these heroes didn't really have any control, I guess. Now they picked the Pangolier.
10 seconds remain.
Then they picked the Lion like before, which is pretty good.
5 seconds. Dyer's turn.
Storm Spirit.
So this is really good against him. Since with Storm you want to go on the counter initiator a lot of the time, right? Which would be Phoenix in this game. But then if you go on Phoenix and not get Phoenix, you're just gonna get hexed or stunned by this Lion. So yeah. Lion's also really good against Pangolier since
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds
so
remain.
It's gonna be difficult for him to maneuver around.
It is Radiant's
if he doesn't
ban.
have his ult or the shard. The ban Juggernaut, as I mentioned before. Same
10
stuff.
seconds. 5 seconds. Dyer's turn to ban.
Yeah. They banned this hero.
10 seconds remain. Radiant's turn to ban.
Thing I forgot to mention about Void Spirit is that he will like most of the time buy X, so it counters Storm because of that also, not just because of the Yules, since you can use it defensively and offensively, but also because of the X. So he's an AoE, right? So even if Storm isn't really going on you, if you're close to the target that he's going on, you're always gonna silence him. And since it's an AoE, Storm is gonna need like an BKB, so you can play normally. But like you have 2 charges, so until then you're always gonna own this Storm. So that's why they ban it. And then Tidehunter, as I talked before, super good counter initiator.
10 seconds. 5
Doesn't really care
seconds.
about it disables from Lion.
It is
so always get
Dyer's
rid of
ban.
Queen of Pain
10
again.
seconds.
They
5
might get
seconds
Storm Spirit losing
remain.
lane.
It is Radiant's ban.
They ban Alchemist now.
10 seconds. 5
Because
seconds.
These heroes aren't really that offensive, right? Since Lion needs Finger to do some damage, and Phoenix is just
Radiant's turn to
just not that much. So Alchemist can heal a lot, so they can farm. And also since they see these 2 heroes which are teamfight oriented, they can pick a critical core like Alchemist and then just farm with it, right? So that's why they ban it. They banned the Weaver. It's really good against Pangolier and pretty decent against Storm Spirit. Both of these heroes get countered by Weaver Gleipnir, the pretty new item, right? Since you can get like Manta and then into Gleipnir or something like that, since they won't be able to kill him ever if he has one defensive item. It's really hard. But also since he can take Rosh, I mean I guess I don't know, the insect can take Rosh with a Swarm, I believe it's called his skill. And also super strong laner, like rarely ever loses raids. So yeah, because of that they banned it.
10 seconds remain.
It's a pretty good hero, same as Diaz before, can just secure Rosh towers every time she has exorcism.
5
really
seconds remain.
Sometimes because of the silence, right? If you see Phoenix just going in with Icarus dive, you can just silence, so she's gonna go back to the position.
Radiant.
Imba Spirit.
Technically outside of the fight, right? She's Phoenix is gonna jump in, so yeah, Egg won't be there. And the thing about Lion is that she can still do damage, right? If she gets a Spirit Siphon off or Exorcism off, it doesn't really care about getting disabled by a Lion. Then I pick an Ember Spirit, which is a really good hero against Storm Spirit. It does decent in lane, and then afterwards you can just chain him. So it's really good. Also, like Storm would never kill the Ember Spirit if he has like a Spirit out or any spell on himself. Same as Dead Prophet, you're never gonna catch an Ember Spirit, just the silence, but he doesn't really care, since can maneuver around the fight and even dodge it with his ult or Sleight of Fist. And also really good against both two heroes combined, because of the chains, obviously, since Pangolier won't be able to do anything, same as Storm Spirit. It's actually pretty good against Dead Prophet also, now that I think about it, because you don't really need to be close to do damage, right? Since you have Sleight of Fist from outside of the team fight and also chains. So yeah, it's really good. Ember Spirit game.
10 seconds. 5 seconds. Not all remain.
Ulti and stuff. So yeah, it's really good pick here. The drafting has improved a lot right now. In this fourth game, I believe it's just a confidence factor of them winning a game before against DG. This is gonna be an Enchantress pick, which I don't really
Enchantress.
like. The only thing it offers is like yeah, a bit of heal and stuff, but that's not really important right here. What they were going for is, which is the wrong idea, I believe. What they were going for is a strong laner. That's why they wanted. This is a super strong laner, pretty strong laner, right? So they're just going to win all their lanes like they did against before, and then just run them over. So that was their plan. But the hero doesn't really do that much, right? The only other use for him would be to dispel Ember Spirit, Flame Guard, which is like, meh, right? So he's gonna have a PKB later.
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds remain.
Run into Ember, just like that. Since you.
It is done.
Warlord.
So here's a troll pick. It's the first time they did a ban troll on North American team, so they just took it, which is a pretty amazing hero right here. It's pretty good against Pangolier. It's the same idea as Ember Spirit almost, because if you net Storm Spirit, he's dead. If you net Pangolier, he's dead. But also doesn't really care about Enchantress, right? She has no disables, so he can just ult and kill them. Same with this, no disables to stop him from ulting and healing in ult. But is also really good against Prophet, because the tankier she is, the more you hit her, right, with fervor stacks. Usually you just get tankier and tanky, and the other heroes can't really do anything. They just have to run away. But Troll is different, because you can just hit her, right, and lifesteal with ult and stuff.
10 seconds. Radiant's turn to ban. None on this stage shrink from a Dire's turn to ban.
Also secures towers and drops, right, with fervor stacks. They ban Razor. They picked Razor before against Ben, so they know that it's in their hero pool. So that's why they ban the Razor right here. See, they already did it, so they might do it again.
10 seconds
this
remain.
Is the Mars ban for them, for the Evil Geniuses. They picked Mars and picked this game in like two 2 times before at least, so they knew it's a really good and comfortable hero for them. But also since the Phoenix, right? Just like I mentioned the first game, I believe they first picked Phoenix Mars. The Arena and the Egg is super good together. Also super
5
strong,
seconds remain. It is Radiant's ban.
Yeah, it was pretty good for them. I already talked about Bongo.
Dyer's turn to pick.
So that should be. It's also pretty decent against. I guess I didn't talk about this. It's pretty decent against Troll Warder because even if Troll ults and you ult on top of him, you know you're gonna get a lot of bonus armor and he won't be able to lifesteal. Since there's so many monkeys that are hitting him, he's always gonna be like super low HP. So yeah, and yeah.
10 seconds. 5.
Bloodseeker.
Interaction, right? So they're both like pretty good gankers. They pick Bloodseeker here, which is a strong laner, right? What they were going for is a strong lane on Evil Geniuses. They pick Bloodseeker as an offlane here, which is a super strong laner, and it's one that can sustain himself against Enchantress. This is the big part, because Enchantress usually wins like every single lane.
10 seconds remain.
You obviously have a neutral creep, but Bloodseeker you can just heal from
5 seconds remain.
It just has to be close to them. So yeah, it is super good.
Phantom Assassin.
This pick from Evil Genius was really bad in my opinion. I mean, it simply was really bad, not in my opinion. It's a fact. PA gets super countered by
your
Troll
hero.
Warrior, since you have 50% evasion, but if Troll hits you with W, you have 65% miss chance. So you're never hitting anyone else PA, which is just physical damage hero. You don't. So the carry matchup is bad for them. You also can't really show in team fights because Bloodseeker is gonna rupture you and you can jump around with W. And then they have a lot of magical damage on everyone else. So that means that she needs a BKB to function. She needs eggs to be able to play the troll matchup. Because that is like, and also the Bloodseeker matchup. This is usually how you can think about the draft. Who has to react to who? I mean, which player has to react to which player, or which hero has to react to which hero. That is how we determine who loses the draft. So in this case, Storm has to react to chains from this guy, Net from this guy, silence from this guy, right? Which poses a threat. Also, this guy has 2 disables. PA has to react to Troll. She can never go on anyone, since Troll is just gonna go whirling X's on her, so 65% miss chance. Unless you have BKB, you're not doing anything. Bloodseeker is just gonna rupture the PA or the Pango, because this is another interaction. Pango can't really ult with Bloodseeker close, because you can just rupture him, right? And then ult doesn't really matter, because you're just gonna die from it if he continues it, so he has to stop in place, so he dies. So yeah, this is scary. I mean, this matchup here was just really bad. The PA.
Dyer must choose.
I mean, I know why they did it, since they thought, oh, Dead Prophet rarely loses lane, so we're gonna have a strong laner. Oh, Storm Spirit again, rarely loses lane. Not really, but you know, they have trust in Abed. But he's not really good.
Bloodseeker.
Just disrespecting him so much. I believe they just got a little bit tilted from last game, question mark.
10 seconds.
So what I could have done instead is either pick something like Gyrocopter here or a Morphling, I believe. Gyrocopter, it's... Actually, let me think about it. Even Slark would be pretty decent. Any hero that can fight pretty early and can do a lot more stuff. For example, I mentioned Gyrocopter. It's because it's... But you're just mostly... So Gyrocopter because you can hit Phoenix, like I said before, with Flak Cannon, and all the heroes get damage. Also you have magical damage, so you don't really care about roll until you have a BKB, since you have 3 spells with magical damage. It's a strong laner or Gyrocopter would be decent against Bloodseeker, because again, you have a lot of damage. This guy is super squishy on Lion. And yeah, you can also group up with the team. Another thing is... yeah, that's about it, I guess, with Gyrocopter. Morphling, I said. Morphling is pretty good against Troll because you have like 40 armor. Troll is just physical damage, so that's why you're good. You also usually buy E-Blade, so you can, you know, E-Blade Troll if he's ulting someone, or E-Blade your teammates to save them. Another thing that you can do is just hit the egg, obviously, with Morphling. because you have a lot of agility, so you can kill it easily. You just buy BKB, hit egg, and that's about it. Another thing is you can ult with Morphling and Ember Spirit, and then you have chains. So you chain Ember Spirit, or Troll, or Bloodsucker, or anyone, and then they have to react to you, right? So if this was a Morphling here, they would 100% win the lane. I mean, most likely win the lane with Enchantress and Morphling against Bloodseeker and Lion. Since Lion doesn't really do anything. So this guy has a free lane on Morphling, and then he can just chain this guy. So the whole dynamic of the game changes, right? Since Storm Spirit won't be forced to react to Ember Spirit, most likely, since he's gonna need to react to Morph. So he might buy like Yule Scepter first on Ember Spirit, so he doesn't get chained every single time, right? Because if Morphling would chain Ember Spirit, that would be super easy to silence him afterwards with that Prophet, and then even Tango roll on top of him. So the whole dynamic of the game changes. Also, Morphling can hit towers, hit Rosh. It's pretty good against Troll, since he can never like man up on you. Since you have Waveform, you can buy Manta, dispel everything. I mean, dispel the net and just morph away. Yeah, the whole thing would change. Even the only argument for not picking Morphling would be that, you know, Lion has to disable, it doesn't really matter. The Bloodseeker, right? This is why they probably didn't pick it, because Bloodseeker, if you're trying to abuse the morph, you know, the morph ability on Morphling, he sees you, right? And he has bonus movement speed. However, I played like my previous 2 games or 3 games in scrims and stuff like that, Morphling against Bloodseeker, and I owned them, since it's not that hard actually. You can just buy Morbid Mass first, right? So this would be what they did wrong in this game with EG.
5 seconds.
Phantom Assassin.
They just lost from this pick, I believe.
Select your hero.
Guys,
10
this
seconds.
is the 5th game, last one.
5 seconds.
Guns are exactly the same from Evil
10
Geniuses.
seconds.
And then
Radiant
exactly the same
Lion.
from the 4th game for Invictus Gaming. They adapted Evil Geniuses 7. Picks are very similar for Invictus Gaming, so I won't talk about them. And then they picked the Tusker. Tusker is a pretty
10
like
seconds
underrated
remain.
hero, I feel like right now. It can be played as offlane, and you can just rush a Necrobook, and then it works with your E. I don't remember the spell name, but yeah. So every hit from
5
the
seconds.
Necrobook also does like a lot of damage. So it's really good. So yeah, this hero can be played as 4, 5, or even 3. So it's really good by them. Yes. Good, talked about it.
It is Radiant's ban.
Bad Juggernaut,
10
similar
seconds remain.
Control ban. They just lost
10
to it.
seconds. 5 seconds. Radiant's turn to ban.
Again.
10 seconds. 5 seconds remain. It is Dire's ban.
PL.
Radiant's
They have no
turn to
for
ban.
PL, that's why.
10
Ban, but again,
5 seconds remain. Radiant's turn to pick.
Again.
Dire's turn.
Storm Spirit.
Storm Spirit pick. Yeah, I believe the Evil Genius is
10 seconds remain.
this is bad
Radiant's
for them.
Void Incarnate.
I mean the series, not the game. Same matchup, we've seen it twice at least in this
10
series, probably.
5 seconds.
This
Die.
is which is like
10 seconds remain.
decent pick, but not really. I would recommend picking Enigma here for 2 reasons. First, the laning stage is not that great against the Phoenix. If they decide to put Phoenix as a position 5, since he can just press W on Eidolons, and then, you know, it's not going to be fun for you. However, the second thing is, as we saw in the game, it happened a lot. If anyone black holes anywhere, Phoenix can just ult close to him. And even if they focus on the black hole, they're gonna get stunned by the Phoenix. By the Phoenix egg going off.
5 seconds
And
remain.
another thing is, if anyone black holes, Phoenix can just heal everyone in the black hole with E, the sun ray. So yeah, that's another thing. But yeah, it's okay as a pick. They change things up, I believe.
Dire's turn to ban.
This is what we saw in the first game. Phoenix and Mars.
10
Mars
seconds.
is pretty good here.
5
Multiple reasons.
seconds.
Obviously, I'll talk about this. Phoenix team composition and stuff. There's just a lot of team fight here, right? And yeah, they can't really hit the egg since this guy is old. But it's also pretty good against Enigma. Like, he can just run at the enemies since he has like 2 low cooldown spells. Enigma doesn't really do that unless she wins the, or I guess it, because it's an entity. It wins the lane, right? Since you would want like Necrobook to run at the enemies. Else you're not gonna do that much with just Islands. They already know how this matchup is played up, the mid one, so they're comfortable picking this hero. Which is also pretty good against that Prophet, since you can separate her from the enemies, right? Since she would want to be like almost in first always to Spirit Siphon people, but then if you arena her, she won't get any backup from Enigma, for example. Even Tusk wouldn't really want to just snowball into Mars Arena, because that's a certain death as a support. So yeah, I believe that was the
It is
Prophet
Radiant's ban.
She's always going to be the
Dire's
first one.
turn to ban.
Going on towers with ult and stuff like that. Just separating her from the team. Bloodseeker ban. Again for Voice Spirit. And then Gyrocopter ban. Super big team fight if a Gyrocopter would be here. But also the same idea as Gyrocopter against Phoenix. You can still hit while you're black hold in their case. So that's why.
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds remain.
Since you have a lot of magical damage. But mostly because of the Enigma.
Radiant's turn to ban.
So they ban Naga. Obviously they know that Arteez is a very good Naga player, so he could maneuver around this a lot. But the thing about Naga is that whenever they egg, Naga can just song, so nobody can help the egg, so they can kill the egg. And also set up for Enigma Black Hole. But yeah, so one part of it is the counter to Phoenix, since you just see the egg when everyone is, slept. The second is setting up for Enigma.
Dire's turn to pick.
And they end up banning Great King because they just want to kill the carry, so it doesn't have 2 lives. If you just black hole Great King, it's just gonna come back alive.
10 seconds. 5
They end up picking
seconds.
Spectre here, which is a really
Radiant.
It counters Enigma. In lane you don't really care about Enigma, right? So you have a Q, so you can just deal with Eidolons. But the most important part is that Enigma can't really black hole you, because they're just gonna die to dispersion. Also, if you buy a Radiance or Blade Mail, they're simply gonna die. Same Storm, it doesn't have enough damage to kill a Spectre. Tusk, exactly the same, so you can just disengage. And that Prophet also, even though that Prophet is pretty good against Spectre, it doesn't really matter since it's super good against 3 different heroes, other heroes, because that Prophet has a percentage based damage. That's why I said it's pretty good against Spectre. She heals a lot because Spectre is a very tanky hero. Another thing is that she can just go farming anywhere in the map, right? And then can just teleport to the fight, which is a huge advantage that, they
10
won't
seconds.
have on every
5
team.
seconds remain.
There isn't really any hero that was available to them.
Dire's turn to pick.
Actually, yeah, there is.
Radiant.
One second, let me fix this bug. Try to fix this bug. Oh, I guess the whole game messed up. Just a bug again from the game.
Radiant
They
must
picked
choose.
Flash
It
because
is
it's a pretty
Dire.
good matchup. He obviously
It
has
is
like,
Dire's ban.
it's really good against magical damage, which they all have magical damage, right? 3 other heroes. But they're also pretty good against Spectre with the lifesteal.
10 seconds remain.
Super tanky.
It is
So,
Radiant's
she
second
likes
ban.
to-
Dire must choose. 10 seconds
5
remain.
seconds
Remain.
Also hit egg or rage. So yeah, but the thing about lifesteal is that
10
it's not
seconds.
very fast. The hero is pretty fast and stuff. He can't really compete
Select your hero.
Spectre's
Make
freedom
the
in this game,
ultimate choice.
because they can only run Spectre whenever they have like Black Hole, right? Or maybe even not then. Spectre doesn't really care about 3 of the heroes, and she is 90% of the cases gonna outscale a lifestealer because of the pure damage, and also since she's useful in an AoE because of the dispersion. Meanwhile, lifestealer is just single target hero, and he can't really commit to anyone, right? So they don't have that many disables, because this guy has escapes, this guy has escapes, you know, this guy has an escape, he can hunt away, just walk to trees and stuff like that. So that was another thing. I believe what they should have picked is something like anti-mage, maybe even a Slark, maybe even TB if it wasn't banned. It always seems like a
Dire's
hard
turn
pick,
to
right?
ban.
Yeah, Terribly wasn't banned, or anti-mage. They were going to pick anti-mage in a previous game, I believe. I mean, EG thought, if it is a game, he thought they were going to pick anti-mage in a previous game, and they banned it. In this case, they could have picked an AM, simply because it's it doesn't really care about voice spirit. Obviously, just magical damage, mostly magical damage, and you outscale a Spectre. The thing about Spectre is that she farms, right? She is not gonna be fighting without items, same as AM, but AM is going to buy a Battle Fury, so AM is gonna farm more, so AM is gonna be stronger and faster online than Spectre. And the thing about anti-mage versus Spectre matchup is that Spectre has to buy a diffuser.
Radiant's turn to ban. Dire must
without
choose.
diffuser on Spectre.
10 seconds.
The only chance you have against an anti-mage
10
is burning his
seconds.
mana.
5.
He doesn't do whatever he wants in a team fight. But if you're buying diffuser blade on Spectre, that you won't be tanky enough for Enigma Black Hole or Dead Prophet Spirit Siphon. So that's why I believe this would have been a perfect AM game for them. I mean, not really perfect, obviously you can still die to spear from Mars or this guy's Q, so he can reflect everything from Lion, right? Phoenix doesn't threaten him, Lion doesn't really threaten him unless they're smoked, Voice Spirit doesn't really threaten him, Mars doesn't really threaten him, Spectre doesn't threaten an AM here, and he wasn't banned, I believe. So yeah, that's why they should have just picked an AM there.
It is Radiant's turn to pick.
So yeah, maybe they were just more comfortable with a lifestealer, or they didn't practice anti-mage this patch, but that's in my opinion what they should have happened. They also should have obviously, you know, not picked
10 seconds. 5 remaining
seconds.
Ready.
I guess. Spectre enemies more.
10 seconds.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. Let me know what you thought about this type of content and what you want to see next. I've been IDQ. Have a nice day.